Hi everyone. So today I'm going to do a YouTube lesson for you about the different instrument families. We've started to talk about this in class, and I've said to you that if you were to count all of the different types of instruments in the world, not all the instruments in the world, but all the different kinds of instruments in all the different cultures, there are over 2,000 different instruments that you could actually label in the world. And out of all 2,000 of those instruments, they all fit into one of four categories, which is kind of unbelievable that many instruments can fit into only four different categories. And it sounds like it would be hard to actually categorize all those instruments, but it's actually easier than you think. So we're gonna talk today. There's about the four different categories of instruments. They are the brass family, the string family, the woodwind family, and finally the percussion family. I don't have a one that says percussion because we're actually going to leave percussion out today. And the reason is that we spend a lot of time in kindergarten and first grade talking about the percussion family specifically, which are the instruments that you hit, shake, or scrape. And we play those a lot. So we're going to leave those out today and just focus on actually the other three. So in order to categorize all the instruments, it sounds like it's really tricky, but it's actually not super hard at all. So I'm going to teach you a couple different tips and tricks, and then we're actually going to go through a bunch of different instruments that I have, and you're going to try to help me sort them out today. So the first family that we are going to talk about, in my mind, is actually a pretty easy one, and that is the string family. Now, the way that you figure out which category an instrument belongs to is you ask yourself. A lot of people think that it's like, what does the instrument look like and things like that. But the way that you figure out the category is you ask yourself, how is it played? How do I play the instrument? And that will give you the answer that will tell you which category that the instrument belongs to. So for the string family, the question I ask myself is, how is it played? And there are three options for that. It can be bowed, plucked, or strum. So bowed would be like if you took a violin with that big stick that actually has horse's hair on it and you rubbed it against the strings. That would be called bowing. Strumming is when you take a guitar and you hold it and you rub your fingers or a pick against the strings and they vibrate. And the third one is plucked, which is where you can just take a finger and pick at a string. And believe it or not, you can actually do that on a violin as well. You don't have to use the bow. Now, the cool trick about the string family is obviously the instrument will have strings in it, and that helps you to figure this one out. But remember, don't look at what does it look like. Ask yourself, how is it played first, okay? Second, we have the woodwind family. And the woodwind family, the secret of how is it played is actually in the title, wood and wind. So if it is a woodwind instrument, it is something that you just blow air gently to play. Not buzzing your lips, but just where your mouth makes no noise except to let the air go out. They used to be made out of completely just wood, and obviously it uses wind to make the sound. Once your air enters the instrument, it helps the sound to vibrate, okay? So that one's the one, how do I play it, is I blow air into it. And then the third one is the brass family. And a lot of people want to say, oh yeah, okay, they're shiny brass, which sort of is part of it, but you have to ask yourself, how is it played? And the brass instrument, the correct answer is you have to buzz your lips in order to make a sound. So I'd have to go, which a lot of people actually have a hard time doing. So those are our three for today. String, you have to pluck it, strum it, or bow it. Woodwind, you have to blow wind into it. And then the brass family, you have to buzz your lips in order for it to make a sound. Now, a thing to remember with the brass is actually a type of metal. It's like a shiny gold. So a lot of people think, oh, brass, gold, that's easy. All the ones that are gold are brass. But there's one tricky one, which is the saxophone. Saxophone, you do not buzz your lips to play it. You actually blow air into it. So saxophone is the sneaky one that tries to sneak into the brass category, but is actually a woodwind instrument. So we're going to go through these, and I'm going to hold it up, and I'm not going to tell you the answer right away. I want you to say the answer out loud or your guess as to what the answer of which family it might be, and help me out with these, okay? The first one I have, let's see, this is a harmonica, okay? So you're asking yourself, how do I play it? And if you're thinking I blow air into it, then the correct answer would be woodwind instrument, because you're blowing air into it with your mouth. Good job. The next one is a double bass. This looks like an enormous violin, but it's actually a stand-up instrument. This guy's standing next to it, okay? And if you think about it, it has strings on it, so that's part of your clue. But he can either bow it or pluck it. And so this would be a string instrument. Next we have, it's called a French horn, okay? It is a brass color. And you put your mouth up to that circular thing and you buzz your lips. So the correct answer would be brass family. Good job. Next one is a harp. Think about what it has and how you play it. And the correct answer is string family. Good job. Next we have a trumpet. It has a round circle that you would put your mouth on and do something to. So the correct family would be brass family. Next we have what's called a piccolo. This looks like a smaller version of a flute. So think about how you play a flute and think about what the correct answer would be. And if you said woodwind, you are correct. Nice job. Next we have, oh, I hope you were paying attention, saxophone. Look at the color, but maybe don't let that throw you off. So this one, if you put your mouth on the mouthpiece, you actually blow it, which is wind. So this one would be a woodwind. All right, next we have, let's see, this is an acoustic guitar, which means it's not an electric guitar. It's a little bit more chill, okay? And this one you would strum with your fingers, which makes it a string family. Good job. This looks like a tuba, but it's actually called a sousaphone because John Philip Sousa actually created this instrument for marching band. And it's got a very deep sound, and you put your mouth on it and you buzz. So the correct answer is brass family. Excellent. And we have an oboe. Sounds like elbow, but it's an oboe. Put your mouth on it. Blow air. Correct answer is woodwind instrument. Good job. This is called an autoharp. You can push a button and then strum on the strings and it will play for you. So this belongs to the string family. Good job. Flute. What's the answer? Woodwind. Good job. Euphonium. This also looks like a tuba, but it's a smaller dude. What would the answer be? This one is a brass instrument. Excellent. This is a viola. It's a slightly larger violin, which means larger makes the sound deeper. A lot of people think larger means higher, but larger actually means lower. Viola makes a really pretty sound. This one is a string instrument. Banjo. Correct answer. String instrument. Cello. Correct answer. String instrument. Excellent. Here's actually a tuba. Kind of looks like a euphonium, but euphoniums are smaller than tubas. Correct answer is buzzing your lips. This would be a brass instrument. Trombone. You take the slide thing and you go. Correct answer is brass instrument. This is an instrument from India. Looks like our guitar, but it's actually called a sitar. So this one would be a stringed instrument. Clarinet is a woodwind instrument. Bassoon. There's a tiny little tube that you blow into right here. This one would be a woodwind instrument. Electric guitar. Ooh, this is a good one. This one is a stringed instrument. Recorder, which you will play in 4th grade. This is a woodwind. And our last one is the violin, which is string. Great job, friends. Now there's one other tricky one besides the saxophone, which is actually the piano. And a lot of people will argue this one because pianos, if you actually know, in the back of them, if you open them up, they actually do have strings that run along the back of them. So a lot of people will try to argue and say piano is a stringed instrument. But it's actually a rule breaker also because when you play the keys, even though it kind of doesn't feel like you're hitting them, when you push a piano key down, a little hammer in the piano hits the string. And if you smart percussion friends of mine, remember percussion is hit, shake, or scrape. And so the piano key pushes and hits the string, so it actually makes it a percussion instrument. Now there's some times that pianos are used, like if you watch the Piano Guys videos, where they open the piano up and they actually use a bow to play the strings, or they pluck the strings, and that kind of turns it into a stringed instrument. but otherwise it's a percussion instrument. Nice job on your quiz. Great work today.